Now you can hear me unmuted. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a live stream I have been procrastinating on for possibly 3 weeks. So I'm finally doing it. Finally doing it. This video, my name is Paul Newell, and I support men and others really in harnessing themselves to live their intentions, to really live on purpose. Live on purpose. And one of the things that helps me that I'm recognizing now, especially after experiencing a 21-day detox, one of the things I recognize as part of my health and well-being and helping to harness myself is doing some sort of detox, some sort of clearing, some sort of cleansing to reset myself, to realign. And I found if you've ever done a detox or cleanse, and you're like, I'm gonna lose some weight and change some habits, and then like a weeks later or maybe months later, you find you're in the same space where you started. Free of judgment, because this is where I've been. I mean, this 21-day detox, the person that runs this, bless up to my guy Omar Jones. The Ozone baby down in Jersey City. But this is for people all over. I've done the 11-day detox with Omar, and I had struggles. I got off the detox midway, and I worked on getting back. So for me to do a 21-day, I was like, this is going to be crazy. Yet at the same time, I knew I needed to do it. How did I know I needed to do it? Well, this is what I want to talk about. At the time when I knew it was, when I knew inside that it was my time to do a detox, what I recognized was that I was over consuming, especially on sugar. Like I would usually be the person that has a little bit of coffee with a lot of milk and sugar, usually half and half. So if you can relate, put a thumbs up. Uh, uh, and I found that I was drinking a lot of coffee. I consume more alcohol than I usually do. Just like overindulging and just experiencing sludgy, like sluggishness. So the thing that got me was, in my family, there's a history of heart disease, kidney disease, and I'm realizing it's hard for you to see my eyes, but this sun is I'm soaking this in New Jersey. At this time, it's like mid-August. It's like the sun is shining, weather is sweet, windows open in the house. Yes. So anyway, so that's the reason. But I'm taking advantage of this while I'm speaking here. When I recognized it was time for me to detox and reset, there was a lot of talk around the time as insights about parasites, just things that were really drawing on my energy. And this is more than this is physical. Yet at the same time, I recognize this was also emotional. This was also spiritual. And when I decided to do the detox, I recognized, like, wow, there was a lot of procrastination. That's how I knew this had to be something I did. So I ended up going on the detox in the beginning of August. So by the time I ended, it would be right around my birthday. So it'd be like a cleansing and realign for my next year of life. And there were a couple things that helped make this a lasting have a lasting impact. And when I say a lasting impact, since that detox, there's been shifts within me that have me more aware and conscious of what I'm putting into, on, and around my body, my mind, my energy, and also help me get more aware of what is that in me that is helping to co-create that type of environment. So I'm going to go through three different steps here. We'll be done with this video probably around the 15-minute mark. I want to keep it short and sweet, digestible nuggets, and I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna dive in. All right. So the first one that I'm gonna go into, this is set an intention. Before I did the detox, I have a support system. So I have what's technically called a therapist that I meet with once a month. Uh, she's on some, like, she does a whole bunch of stuff. So it's like a realignment every month. It's like a monthly oil change or energy shift and realignment. So when I told her my intentions, we did a spiritual detox and being able to set what's not mine free. And when this detox I did with Omar, it was a kidney liver cleanse detox and a parasite removal. So that's the thing that really attracted me, because I recognized, especially doing more research, we can have parasites, physical parasites within us that draw and feed on the sugar. Before I get into all that, set the intention. So for me, the biggest piece of this was really looking, having foresight of where I want to be on the other end of this whole situation. So when I set the intention to release and give over any physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual parasites. Give them over. Okay. And when I did that, I don't know. People could be like, "This is crazy," but whatever. When I did that, it was like poof. Like I like to say, and so it is. So when I started the detox, first of all, there was the detox. To give you a heads up, the first 3 days that I did were juices. Then there was Omar's got some very unique herbs and tonics and things that contribute to flushing and cleansing out the system. And he's got a specific protocol that I had to follow, which made it helpful for me to just set myself up and set my sights on where I want to go and just focus one day at a time and notice what comes up. So when I set the intention, I noticed, looking back on the experience, that I set free a lot of waste physically, but like a lot of what I saw in my waste was just sludge, darkness. And it represented to me, when I look back on my notes, just the darkness that I was holding inside, that I was that I just fed that I would keep feeding the darkness, and that would represent itself in fast foods or eating with the wrong intention, eating angry, things of that nature. Is what I started realizing, like, that's what I was doing, that's what was stored in my body, that's what I was feeding. I wasn't really giving my body nutrients, I was giving my body toxins to support the darkness that was inside. But before I get into that, still setting the intention. Setting the intention also helped me to bring up a lot of the things or emotions behind the habits that were creating, like, the weight gain. Like, so for example, before I started the detox, I was up to 214 pounds. At the lowest point in the detox, I got down to 192. At this point right now, I'm at 199. So my blood pressure before I started was in the high 120s. During the detox, it got down to 90 over 62 or 90 over 67. Now it's back up to like mid 120s, low 80s. So it's balanced out, still taking meds. But when I set the intention, a lot of things I allowed to release because I set the sights where I consciously and unconsciously gave myself the space to let it go. Now, this gets to the second piece, which is when you do the detox. If you, and these are all tips, if you're going to, the next detox or cleanse that you do, whether you do it with Omar or wherever, these are steps that I invite you to take that will have lasting impacts for your detox. So the second one that I found was acknowledge what I'm feeding. So when I look at the things, like whether it's through alcohol, fast food, again, my intentions when I was eating, like what was the energy around it? Was I eating? Was I watching TV? Was I angry? These were the types of things I got to acknowledge and recognize, like, oh, junk, this is what I'm feeding. Now, what I was also feeding were a lot of the emotions and belief systems. For example, the belief systems that I'm worthless. And that came up. And instead, like, because I didn't have any option to the alcohol and the fast food, I just had myself and getting ready to cleanse that thought. I recognized, I'm like, dang, man, this was like me going to get fast food, for example, was ways I was destroying myself. Me continuing to drink alcohol on a regular, hard basis was destroying myself. And the destruction was from the feeding of that belief system. Now, listen, things came up as far as even on detox. I remember vomiting, and it was like I let like my throat be like cleansed. It was freaking crazy. But I recognized like even in that cleanse, when I vomited, it was like giving over the belief system that my voice is worthless. Like, no, like that was stuff that I was holding down. I got to release. So when you go into your detox and things come up, whether it's emotions, you get cranky, you have cravings, I want you to acknowledge these are some of the demons that we feed. And that's why I call this the demons, the detox of my demons, because like those demons a lot of times can be what our habits feed, the belief system of something that we'd rather not acknowledge. This is the time to acknowledge it. So this is when you acknowledge those demons, those things that come up to get you. Now, here's another piece, and this is what I acknowledge about the detox, which helped me out a lot. The last piece is to know your tools. So I remember there was a point specifically where something like something very emotional came up for me during the detox, and I was just very emotional at work, and I called my support system, which in this case was Omar. And I remember, man, I was just like, I'm gonna go home. And Omar was like, no, man, use your tools. You have the tools, use them. How can you breathe? Go for a walk. And I remember I did it, and it helped me reawaken to the power and ability I have to heal myself by taking like the things that I already know, integrate them in my healing, use them. And I judge that a lot of times when we learn these different tactics, these affirmations, we fail to acknowledge how they show up, how they can show up, how we use them when we need them. That's why we get to practice them. So have your tools and practice your tools. That can be like your breath work. That could be going for nature walks, working out. Like for me, since the detox, every day I move. Every day I move in different planes of motion. And I've been jumping rope every other day. I'm going to step it up to every day, but I got to hit the foam roll on my calves because that junk is woo-wee, woo-wee. Anyway, like, acknowledge your tools. And tools can also be your support systems. So acknowledge those people in your life that you can go to and talk to through your situations where you may have had no one to talk to before, and you'd stuff it with something. Have that space where you can release, let go, set free. Have someone be able to hold you accountable. Even recently, I'm going through some stuff, and I was like, I was leaning back on some of the old habits, and my man O was like, "Hey man, be watchful, be mindful, trigger the old habits." That's what a support system will do. They'll hold you accountable. So these are these three tips that I'm giving to you that I think if you're gonna detox, and again, probably maybe by the time you see this video, it's in October, or maybe you see it later time when it's time for, hey, fresh new you in the new year, whatever the situation is. I want you to think back to these tools about setting the intention before you do this detox, cleanse, whatever. Set an intention on what you want to get out of it and what you want to let go, what you want to release. Once you do that, then acknowledge what you are feeding. As you have these cravings and you have these feelings come up, acknowledge like, damn, what was this really feeding inside of me? And then you may notice you may be able to give over whatever it was that you were stuffing. And then have your tools. Have your tools when it comes to when you go through a dark time, or when you go through those cravings, or even just after you do the detox. What are the tools that you have to maintain or continue to enhance what you uncovered during your detox cleanse? And this is the reason why I call this the detoxing demons, because when it comes down to it, and what most people may not really even acknowledge or talk about, is we stuff like a lot of the things that we consume are due to emotional eating. They're due to parasites within us, and they can be physical, they can be mental, energetic. There's a lot of different ways parasites can begin to consume you. And one of the things I recognized during the detox was I was becoming a host of the parasites rather than being the master of this domain. So know your tools, because one of the things that I took away from one of my favorite movies, Doctor Strange, and it really applied when I was dealing with this, when I was experiencing this detox, is that We never lose our demons. We only learn to live above them. So what does the live above them mean? As you go through this and as you continue to really detox your body, recognize there are different ways that you could detox your life, whether it's decluttering your drawers or your house, your home environment, detoxing from tech, detoxing from family, from a friendship, whatever it is. The main reason to detox is to really cleanse the environment and see what stays, what's going to be conducive to your health and well-being, and what's far from serving you. So I hope this video helped a ton. If you like it, listen, share, put some comments in on what are the ways that you detox your body. What have you done? What's been your experience? I think it'd be great for people to share so other people have an experience of what this could be like. So bless up to everybody. Thanks for watching, and we out of here. Peace.